The last section in our behavior intervention plan is the implementation fidelity using fidelity checklist observations. This correlates with number 18 on the TATE rubric, a specific plan for collecting fidelity data on BIP implementation is included. For example, on our BIP, we want to know who is able to do the fidelity observations. And these people could be anyone on the team. So examples of this might be your social worker, your principal, your TC, your special education teacher, your SLP, your OT, any of those people, or even a stranger should be able to follow that fidelity checklist and see if that plan is being run with fidelity. And then we also need to know, what is the frequency? How often are we going to be checking in to make sure that everyone is following the plan consistently? So for the example, we put bi-weekly and just during math class. So if math class is from 12 to 12:30, then that's when the observation should be conducted. And then for progress monitoring meetings, how often will the team meet to review the data? Depending on the target behaviors and how many interventions you have and how long you've been running these plans, is going to vary. Typically, we recommend to run a plan for 4 to 6 weeks to determine if it's working or not, because it takes time to teach that skill to the student. It takes time for the student to understand the consequences of when the behavior occurs, what's going to happen, and when the behavior does not occur and he does the replacement behavior. So it takes time. So 4 to 6 weeks is a good time frame, but if your team meets monthly, then you might say, monthly or every 4 weeks. But if you have a more significant behavior, you may want to check in every week or bi-weekly, and even just check in on the fidelity data just to make sure that everyone on the team is running the plan with fidelity. That's super important. That's the number one reason that plans don't work, is because they're not being run with fidelity. Everybody tends to do things slightly different. It might be something as simple as your tone of voice or how you're addressing the student. So those are things that we can tweak to make sure that we are all consistently running the plan. Maybe a script needs to be created, for example. And then after 4 to 6 weeks of everybody running it consistently, looking at the data to determine if it's not working, maybe we need to tweak an intervention. Maybe we need to teach it an intervention better, or maybe then down the road looking at maybe we got the function wrong, but that would be way down the line. And in order to get 2 points on number 18 in the TATE rubric, a detailed and specific plan is included in the behavior intervention plan describing procedures for collecting fidelity of how implementation data is. So examples of this is who is going to do it, when and how often are they going to review the fidelity assessments. So an example might be the guidance counselor will observe the plan being implemented once a week for 2 weeks, and then the data will be reviewed in 3 weeks. Or the teacher will complete a weekly self-assessment that will rate the degree of the plan's implementation. Data will be reviewed within 3 weeks. It is important to bring these fidelity checklists and documents to each progress monitoring meeting and review them at the progress monitoring meeting to determine if the plan is being run with fidelity. If you're finding that staff is not running it consistently with fidelity, then that might be the first place that you start tightening up your plan, is with the fidelity. Maybe staff needs more training. Maybe it's not clear. Maybe there needs to be a script of exactly what the procedure is. If it's being run with fidelity at 100% consistently amongst staff members and the behavior is still occurring or not decreasing, then you may want to consider tweaking your interventions. But we always start by looking at the fidelity data first, because 80% of the time when your behavior intervention plan is not working, it's because it's not being run with fidelity amongst all the staff members and the team running it.